Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Game5 podcast. I am your host, G5 CoZmos, joined by my co-host today, Ralphie, and the legendary Mr. E. How you guys doing today?
Yo, what's good? I'm doing pretty good.
What's poppin'? Chillin', man.
So we're going to be discussing a few topics today and interviewing the players relevant to those topics. First, we're going to be talking about Steve and the drama and upsets that Ddog made with the upset over Tweek with Steve, and we're going to be conveniently interviewing Ddog himself regarding the topic. After that, we're going to be discussing Smash World Tour, and we actually have a very special guest, Zomba, who placed fourth, if I recall correctly, at Smash World Tour, and get into a lot going on that. So, starting with the Steve topic, just in case anybody didn't see it, Ddog, I believe he's from New Jersey, right? And the tournament was in New Jersey?
No, he's from Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
But like for some reason, Fusion is like one of the closest locals to Staten Island. So like Zomba, Ddog, like Stretch, and like all of them will always go there.
Yeah, Tri-State, right? It was Tri-State players.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he made, I believe it was a double 2-0 against Tweek in this bracket.
Yeah,
and
No,
yeah, I was gonna say he took out all of Tweek's characters. I believe the first set was Wario, Diddy Kong, and then the second set, I don't know if it was all Sephiroth because I think it was off stream.
Sephiroth Wolf.
Oh, and Wolf.
Yeah,
that's my god.
From what I know, but for sure the Sephiroth, I'm like when Ddog's here, he could probably tell you.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was Sephiroth and Wolf. So, and I like before the podcast, I made sure to watch the set. I was like, wow, like Steve is really like something.
Yeah, I think only one of those sets was streamed, right? Well, I don't even know.
The winner
set was streamed.
Yeah, it's all I could find.
I peeped it for a little bit, but I gotta go back and watch that again.
Yeah, and I think when they played in losers, it was actually for 7th place. So like,
oh my god,
it was like wow, like Tweek's like first seed of the tournament. He's playing the Steve round 3. He just loses. Everyone's like, yo, Steve, wow. Steve, and then they're like, oh, Tweek's probably just gonna run it back all the way to Grants. Plays the Steve again, different characters. It was.
That's
insane.
Wild. And you know what's so interesting to me? So it's like, I think that might be the first time, because I mean, Tweek got 9th, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That might have been the first time.
7-7.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say that might have been the first time ever, like in history, that Tweek didn't get like top 8 at like a local in like the Tri-State area.
Yeah, but
maybe.
even 7th is like.
Even 7th is
for Tweek. Yeah. That would be a bad placing at a super major.
Exactly.
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 So like. Definitely, that's something.
Yeah, was Fusion, is it just like a straight up local, or is it like a monthly, like a regional kind of thing? Or
alright, so it's like every Monday, but this one was like the 100th one.
Oh, okay.
It was like Fusion 100, yeah. So like everyone showed up. Like Nick C doesn't usually go.
Yeah.
Like Leon hasn't been going.
Super local, basically.
Yeah, it was literally like a regional that had to finish in like 6 hours. Like, yeah. So.
Yeah, I was watching that, especially in the Diddy Kong set, and this is what a lot of people were talking about on Twitter, is it felt like he couldn't do anything. Like the thing is, like, for Steve, I feel like Ddog wasn't even playing that campy. Like, or maybe people would disagree, but I feel like he was trying to interact a lot, you know, like he could have been camping a lot more, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I mean, Steve is just inherently like a campy character.
For sure.
But like, what do you guys think of like Steve in the meta? Especially like, does this result change what you thought about everything, or is it just kind of like, yeah, this was about to happen eventually?
So like, I mean, like in terms of like the Ddog Tweek set, I feel like the Diddy Kong game specifically, I feel like Ddog just like took as much as like Tweek gave him, because like there's literally one point, like I mean, Tweek's like a player where like he'll literally play as patient as he needs to. Like if you've ever seen him fight like Sonic or something.
Yeah.
But like Ddog put the 3 blocks. Tweek's like, I'm getting a banana. I'm not interacting
He didn't go.
with you.
Yeah.
And then Ddog just was like, okay, I'm gonna get my diamond, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's literally like a point in the Diddy Kong game where he literally died at 70 to like a diamond back air, where it's like you're letting him get his win condition, and then he's killing you at 70. So like, I feel like that's just like a little ridiculous, like, you know. So, I don't know.
No, I feel that. It definitely seemed as if Tweek didn't really know totally how to deal with Steve, and it almost seemed like he was really trying to figure it out, maybe during the set as well. But, you know, not to take any credit away from Ddog, like, I've been hearing about Ddog pop off, like, way before he got this Tweek win, actually. I've just been hearing more and more about him, like at locals and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, to me, Steve definitely he feels like a character that like if you don't know how to deal with him, like he will wreck you, you know? Like
Yeah,
I think he's definitely
absolutely.
capable of just beating any character in the game, you know? Like he's so abrupt as a character. Like you can just like he hits you once, you'll take like 70%, and then, you know, you got to watch out for Diamond, which is really scary in itself. So, you know,
The
like just
Arsene
this
of the
character alone
character.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like he's just crazy. So, honestly, when I heard about this win, I wasn't too surprised, to be honest. Like, you know, I
Mm,
feel
Yeah.
like when I hear people that are about to like that lose to Steve, I'm just like, yeah, something probably happened here. But at the same time, I don't want that to take away from the
yeah.
player too. You know, at the end of the day, they're still doing what they need to do, and yeah, you know,
Yeah.
this character isn't like Smash 4 Bayo to me. So like, no character in Ultimate is like Smash 4 Bayo to me.
Yeah,
So like,
definitely.
I'm not really complaining or anything. You know, so like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
just how I feel right now.
I think what you said, he did what he needed to do is very accurate because I think Steve is maybe even the epitome of like a Smash Ultimate character where they have I mean, they have their weaknesses, but they have like a lot of strengths and a lot of really unique factors that, like, obviously you have to know the matchup or else you're gonna get absolutely destroyed. But even if you do, the other player, like, it's not to say that you can outplay them and still lose, but they have like a formula for how to play their character, and
Yeah.
being good with the character is almost like 50-50 between like actual fundamentals because fundamentals always matter even on characters that aren't really like that fundamental, and then the other 50-50 of just like how well do you know that character's formula, how well, because it's like some characters are just kind of like simple with what they do in terms of like they have like so many unique ways to play the game that it's kind of like, well, this character does this here, and it's not like you have to just like space a move properly or like, you know, react properly. It's just like, no, I just do this in this situation. As long as I do this in this situation, I'm good with my character. And
Yeah.
Yep.
I think yeah, it's also just like and D-Dog was getting like a lot of I mean I don't know if he was getting like a lot of flack, but like Zomba always tells me, and Zomba's like a good friend to D-Dog, is like, oh, like D-Dog never does like any of the tricks, and there's like a billion Steve tricks, you know, like
yeah,
he plays like very simplistic for a Steve main, right? But it's like he's playing very simplistic and he's still like double eliminating like the second best player in the world, like or like a top three player in the world, right? Like debatably if you include Spargo, right?
hmm,
But it's like this character has like so many tricks, and like you see people on Twitter just like, oh, there's three blocks here, I gotta like monkey flip cancel, then do this and then do this and then I can hit him. It's like they're literally thinking of like five steps to hit him when he's literally doing something that takes like 2 seconds to do, you
yeah,
know, like it's like actually kind of insane to me. Like I don't even think like Steve is like top tier or anything.
hmm,
Like he might be top tier, but like I honestly think like it's just insane how much counterplay goes into fighting this character for him to not even be the best. Whereas like
yeah,
we literally spent years like fighting like for example like Smash for Bayo, or
hmm,
like I guess like you guys like play Brawl, like Brawl Meta Knight, right? Like
Yeah.
there's literally like so much counterplay that went into that because they were literally the best character in the game.
yeah,
But this is like so insane to me that they're like not even the best character in the game, but there's so much counterplay that's still like not even found out yet.
Yeah.
and they're not even the
Yeah.
only
Very
one like
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's
Right.
also interesting to me is that Tweek was practicing a lot of Cloud before Fusion, and Cloud actually does mad well against like Steve,
Hmm.
but he didn't end up going Cloud. He just
Yeah.
went like
He wanted to go.
Sephiroth Wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like characters that have like those really big hitboxes that just like break like two or three blocks at once like do really
Hmm.
well against Steve, you know, and that like don't have to commit to like going in because they have a disjoint. Like I feel like
Yeah.
those are the characters. I mean, you know it best, Eric, because you played like Jake when you were in Florida
Yeah,
and
I was
stuff.
gonna
Like,
ask what
Yeah.
Steve experience you have.
yeah, like I feel
Yeah.
like Lucina probably does well, right?
Yo, surprisingly, it's like even if I space some aerials on shield, I can still just eat like a
80
freaking F tilt
damage.
or something, or like a
Yeah,
back air.
yeah,
So it's like even then, it's actually pretty. The matchup I think, Lucina versus Steve is like Honestly, I don't know. It could be even, maybe slightly Lucina, but yeah, I don't find it like that.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like pretty tricky. But
The-
because he can also edge guard me too, which is
Mm.
with
yeah.
like down tilts and like stuff like that, which is pretty
Down
annoying. Ledge
air.
traps, like
Yeah.
resets of
TNT.
TNT.
Yeah.
I mean that setup works on like most characters, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, I definitely got to play one of the best Steves, and I think I actually played D-Dog before at a New York tournament. I think it was Brookland. I
Oh
think I went
yeah,
to one,
yeah,
and I think
yeah,
I played like a money match or something.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely played against Jake. I mean, this is like offline because I played like Steve players online, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm getting rocked by this character,
Yeah.
but I don't know, maybe it's online.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, yeah, when I played Jake, um, it's just such like a volatile thing. I feel like fighting this character is always volatile. It's
Mm.
like
Yeah.
if he doesn't get you to 0 to 70 or whatever, then it's like, you know, you're messing him up. It's like if he's not messing you up, then you're messing him up, like type
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
And I can edge guard him, which is nice. There's definitely counterplay to Steve, which
Yeah.
of course is awesome. But yeah, like he's definitely a tough character, I will say. It just feels kind of like I don't know, it because it's like it's hard to say because even though I did play Jake, I don't feel like I have the most Steve experience yet. So it's
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
Definitely
yeah,
takes a
I still
lot.
find the character. Yeah, it's pretty difficult still. I would say it's like an even matchup.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
remember like when offline first started coming back, like Infinity Con and all that, Ned would like Ned was playing Sephiroth, he like countered a minecart at like 30%. They were like,
Yeah.
oh, Steve's garbage, right?
Yeah.
And then Cola plays Cloud versus like one of the Steves. It was either like Jake or like another Steve. And he just like forwarders 3 blocks at once. They're like, oh, Steve's garbage. Like Steve is just
Yeah.
trash. Like get this out of here. Like
Hmm.
Yeah.
and I remember Cola even said like, I don't even know the matchup. I just play Cloud. Like and
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, like Surdy's, are the wave.
Exactly.
But that's
But
like,
mhm.
oh yeah, I was gonna say that's like another like Smash Ultimate thing where people just, I mean, people in it's more like human nature just to jump to
Yeah.
conclusions too quickly. But I think it's really easy in Ultimate also because like Ultimate is this weird thing where it's like it's a very simple game mechanics wise, like overall game mechanics, especially
Yeah.
compared to like any other Smash game. But
Mhm.
then like niche character things can get really deep, and that's why like you see like Byleth winning stuff, which is well, that's a topic I didn't want to get into today, but like Byleth, who's probably just a high tier, is still has like all of these mix-ups and all these really
Yep.
unique options that you have to be aware of, and like they have so many different ways to play different situations that are like maybe another character doesn't have. And Steve maybe is like the master of that, is just having so much of it. So it makes it so like it's really easy to be like, oh, like I did this one thing and this character dies, like he sucks. But then wait a minute, like he's also destroying everybody because of these
Yep.
different things. So it's very hard to jump to conclusions.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's even like even when I like beat Steve's in tournament, I'm like, yeah, I mean I won here, but did I really win? I feel like
Mm.
next time I might fight the same player and just lose. So
Yeah.
it's like one of those factors where he just has like so many ways to like I don't know, bring stuff back. And
Yeah.
yeah, you have to know a lot. Like you have to know that character. You need to grind against that character. You're not just gonna. Hey, I think it's very possible, right? Like you can be really good at Smash. Like I would say, as Cole as example, right? And just pick Cloud and just like beat Steve's. But like I don't know. You never know. You might feel like you know it, but then you might get caught off guard one day. So
Yeah, you might just
I think
die
Steve is one of
one.
those characters. You can never be you know, too confident, I would
Yeah.
say. I mean, it's a good thing to be confident, of course, but you don't want to be sleeping at all, even if
Yeah.
you do win.
There's always a trick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And with that, I think let's hear from the man himself. Let's get D-Dog in here. All right. What's up, D-Dog? How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good, good. So yeah, the three of us were just talking a lot about Steve, the meta, obviously your upsets on Tweek, or Twerk as some prefer to call him, and yeah, so very very interesting, polarizing character. I guess like the first thing that I just wanted to ask you is sort of the most obvious question is, what do you think of Steve in the current meta?
Honestly, he's like pretty broken, but I feel like no one has fully optimized him yet. But I feel like Rockman's getting there right now. Like he got wins in a tournament over Peckham, Dom, which are considered like one of Steve's worst matchups. So I think he'll be like, I think fully optimized, he could be top 5.
Wow.
Top 5.
Wow.
And in my opinion, all of his matchups are doable.
Yeah.
I always prefer when the main of the character is confident in the character, because so many people are like, "Oh yeah, I mean Pyramithra, but they're not even top 10." Like, you know, like character confidence is good. I definitely think. Take us through that experience. I believe from what I saw in the VODs, you'd played Tweek before that fusion, but this one did you feel something different in your play? Was there something different in like the matchups that he brought to you? Or I guess you played every matchup, right? So take us through that experience.
Well, I never played Tweek before.
Oh, you had?
Before like Fusion. No, that was when I first played Tweek. I watched my friend of mine, Stefan. He's another Steve that played Tweek.
Yeah.
And he lost to him 1-3. So I just watched that before. And a couple of days before, like a week when I registered, I said, if you see me low, see me into Tweek.
Oh.
Yeah. I did see that tweet.
I wanted like the top player experience in general. So I didn't go into it thinking I was gonna win. I was like, I just wanted to like fight him.
Yeah.
So it was pretty nice. Out of all of his characters, I'd say like the Diddy was the toughest though. And like in the loser set when he went Wolf, I was like feeling pretty confident because I liked that matchup. And like the Sephiroth didn't really scare me as much either.
Yeah, but
you go.
Sephiroth seems like a well, people at first were saying like Sephiroth's like a pretty bad matchup for Steve, right? Like what do you think about that, or just like stories in general? I feel like
the matchup isn't good for Steve, but like I'm fine with it. At Smash World Tour last chance qualifiers, I lost game 5 to a Sephiroth. It was like last 10. It was pretty upsetting, but it's definitely doable.
Yeah,
for sure.
You just have to be careful for his counter.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because we all witnessed Ned versus Jake during Infinity Con. We were actually just kind of talking about that a little bit. Where we just see Ned counter his minecart all like 24/7, and he just like kind of frees him up. But Jake did take a game, so I feel like even if Steve is just a character where it's like sometimes you might just see him lose like that, but it's like nothing is not doable for Steve.
Yeah.
Like he's just that type of character. He's really, really good. So
yeah, and I feel like you're kind of like rewriting the matchup chart in a sense, because like I feel like I guess like maybe even Tweek thought this, like, oh, like he saw like Sephiroth counter the minecart at 30, and he's like, oh, I'm just gonna go Sephiroth in the loser set. Like the Diddy, the Warrior, like they weren't working. Like let's just go like a character with nice disjoints, like relatively easy counterplay to like something that's like pretty essential to like your gameplay, and just like try and win like that, But you were just like, nope, I'm gonna beat the Sephiroth, I'm gonna beat the Wolf, like. So I mean that was just good stuff, like all around.
He actually didn't counter with Sephiroth.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I guess his counter is usually kind of a read unless you already see them coming at you with something like a recovery move. So maybe Tweek kind of wanted to opt to play it safer. I feel like he's not that much of a read-based player, compared to some others.
When he's feeling it, like he gets that like third eye, and then he goes in on you, But like, yeah. I mean, but the minecart's like such an active hitbox, Like it's just like you see him do it, it's just like you just counter
if you're close enough, right? Because otherwise he could jump out and then But so the other thing that I wanted to say, and I guess really give you an opportunity to actually just physically speak your mind on this, Ddog, is that the main reason why we're discussing this topic is because it blew up so much on Twitter, and then everybody's saying everything. I can imagine it maybe even was difficult for you to receive so many people trying to just downplay your results because of Steve. Just anything you wanted to say on like the reaction of Twitter and the kind of stuff that you had to read after those upsets. What was that like?
Well, the ban Steve thing was actually pretty funny because when I played like Wi-Fi, I like just got ninth at an MSM, and then like people were saying the same thing.
Yeah, ban Steve.
Yeah, well, not Bancy, but like he's carrying. But the carried stock has been around for a while, but no one really wanted to ban him.
Hmm.
And I don't know why it sparked with Tweek out of all people, when there's like players like Yanni who got us set on the Buzz night that break tie. Like
Yeah.
in my opinion, I don't think I did the most impressive thing that a Steve could do. So I was like a little confused on why me.
I feel like
think-
that's like a very humble take, you know?
Yeah.
Because like I mean, I like from like personal experience of like being called carry for like playing Cloud and Smash 4,
Mhm.
it's like you're giving them a reason to like call you carry, you know? Like you're literally playing the character good enough to like make people like mad at how you're playing, you know? So like I feel like that's just like an indirect compliment. They just
Yeah.
are like they just are too dumb enough to like see it, you know? Like I don't know. I think you're doing a good job, man.
Like even when I play against Steve's, it's like a little bit troubling. I actually hate the Steve bit.
Yeah.
Like when I play
That sounds like a
Steve,
weird matchup.
I usually go Wolf.
Oh, Wolf, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Interesting.
only have like 2 counter picks, but I've never used them offline. Like Mario, Wolf, and Bowser Jr. That's it.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
I like that. I like that you
Mario.
have Wolf in there because, like, I feel like there's this stigma attached to people who play like kind of weird characters like Steve or Pac-Man or even r.o.b. That they might not like play like funny or like not have fundies or might not play a more simple character. And Wolf is like just raw fundies, like up the wazoo. So, I think in Ultimate it's kind of a lot. There are very few players truly fit into that stigma because I've seen this a lot where I'm like, or like you look at like Proto, he used to be known just for Lucina and I think he had something else before the Min. Maybe was it an Inkling? Did he have? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Inkling. Yeah.
Inkling, he did,
And I'm like, this guy, like, he's into, like, pretty sick fundamental characters and everything like this or whatever. And then he comes out, like, being, like, an amazing Min. Now, I think definitely part of that might be, like, the way the Japanese view the game is a little bit different. Like, they probably don't, like, see things the kind of the way we do where, like, ew, you play Min. Or, like, yo, you play Lucina, that's hype, But a lot of people just have different kind of characters to pull from. And that's interesting, for me, especially having been in the community for a while. I imagine for you guys too, seeing how I feel like in Smash 4, it wasn't as much like that. It was like, besides for Bayo, it's like if you played like the quote unquote lamer characters, that was usually kind of your whole roster, unless you had a Bayo. And then in this game, it's just like, there's a lot of different stuff that people have in their pockets.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes back to like how we were talking about the game is like much more simplistic, like tech skill wise. It's like a lot of the just like basic ultimate fundamentals. Like you're just like, okay, I play Steve, but that doesn't mean I can't play like a fundamental character like Lucina, because if you know how to play ultimate, you know how to play ultimate. It's just it's not like something that's like too in depth where it's like you're learning like 10 billion Steve tech to the point where you can't learn Lucina. Like it's not like doesn't correlate in any way.
For sure.
When a lot of people like look at my old results with Mario, I feel like Steve like helped me improve at the game and his other characters as well. Because like my Mario was like a 40% win rate, but like while I was playing Steve, my Mario got a win on Marvelous Marco, and like so when I had to pull him out, like he was still solid.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess like Steve just made me play the game more, so I learned more as I played, even with other characters.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
As a coach, it's one of the things I tell people all the time is that you'll get better at your main by learning more characters. Because the thing is, for the most part, every character, has different strengths and weaknesses. So they have, and usually more so because of the weaknesses, but also because of strengths. Characters have to play certain situations certain ways. But that doesn't mean that your main can't also play them that way that the other character does. And by learning that, you learn, okay, now I can do this in this situation, even if it's like maybe not what my character normally does or whatever, because I kind of have to do things. You want to have a complete control of your character's like situational vocabulary. And it doesn't matter. Actually, sometimes it's even better if the character is like very different, like Steve and Mario. Well, I guess they have some similarities too, but overall, every character is pretty different from Steve, and that's pretty interesting. Also, you answered the next question I was going to ask was who your former main was. So you were primarily a Mario main before Steve came out.
I played before Mario. I played DK.
Okay.
And like my first Ultimate main was Youngling, and then I got like washed out of local. So I just dropped him.
Gotcha. Yeah, so do you guys have any other questions for Ddog, or should we move on to the next segment?
I mean, like the main question I had was like how does it feel to like be like the person that really sparked like people being like ban Steve, like like you don't see like the second best player in the world losing to anyone twice at a local, like Steve is a problem, like that type of deal,
It's a little scary because like expectations are going to be a lot higher for locals, and I think they might improve like slightly, but ever since like that fusion, I've only gone to the major as Smash Bros. Tour.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see how I do at weeklies, and it's just kind of funny the ban Steve stuff. He shouldn't get. I think it's actually like low key toxic for the meta though. Like if he didn't exist, this game would be better. I don't know how to put it.
I mean, yeah, that is true, but also, I mean, just in general, like, I mean, you were even considered for like the PR, but like the PR that just came out for New York, like I'm pretty sure you were
Wait,
like
it just came out?
No, like not just came out, but like the one that came out with like Zomba and Tilde and Liquid, like top 5, like that one, like I'm pretty sure you were somewhere like in the 16 to 20 range. Like people were even like listing your win and like seeing like if you were like gonna be on it, So I mean, like I feel like the future's kind of bright for you. Like it's only kind of going up, like, and especially since you're like playing a character that everyone hates, like it's pretty easy to just like keep the momentum going because like people are just gonna be like, like fuck Steve, like why do I have to fight a Steve in bracket, like.
Yeah, you could use the hate to cloud converter, a clout converter if you're into that sort of thing. You could turn it all into success in a way.
Yeah.
Sure.
But man, that's interesting. So I'm sorry. Yeah, you go. I was gonna say it's interesting that you thought that the game would be less toxic without Steve, even as the Steve main. Is pretty interesting to hear.
Well, that doesn't mean I don't want Steve in the game.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's kind of like a troll mindset. Like, it's actually funny that people are mad over a character. But yeah, I definitely want him in the game. But if he wasn't, I think that would make people more happy, but not me.
Yeah, but either way, though, there's like a million characters that no one will ever be happy. Because, like, there are people, frankly, like myself, who would prefer the game if it was, like, mostly just like, more fundies characters like Wolf, Palu, even Pyramithra are fine, I honestly think, even though they're broken. But then there's just like another half of players that just hate those characters. So you're never going to please anyone no matter what they did. I think it's fine that we have everybody is here,
Yeah, definitely.
He was my dream character from the start.
Oh, Steve.
Wow.
Oh, so you're like an actual like Minecraft player?
Win with him. Yeah.
But when I first played him, I was like kind of bad. Like I barely used him in bracket. I actually don't know when I started to like play him good. I have to look back at my results because there's not like one specific moment I remember where it was just like I'm gonna pick up this character.
Yeah. But I'm glad you did pick him up, and you've definitely made a lot of progress. Hopefully, you will continue to be able to do so. I also just realized that you said I think Ralph said you're from Staten Island as well as Zomba. Yeah. So Zomba, but we're 2 Staten Island players. Staten Island is really rising up lately, which I guess brings us to our next topic. And Ddog, you said you wanted to stick around and talk with us about the SWT stuff as well.
Yeah, I'll stick around.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, SWT at this point, it was like a week ago. Crazy tournament. I thought it was really, really fun to watch. So many different things, especially, New York players for us rising up. Obviously, Zomba, who we're going to talk to. Tilde doing super well.
That is crazy.
Just how'd you guys feel about that event?
Dude, like Zomba and Tilde like qualifying through the last chance was like that was like insane to watch. I was watching with Silvio and like
Mhm.
it was just crazy. Like we saw Zomba's bracket, we saw Fatality got upset. It was like okay, Zomba got this. Like he has to play like two Palus. He's from New York. Like Palu is a matchup he knows. Like he beat Louis Money in the past. Louis Money was first seed of the qualifier. It's like all right, like Zomba got this. And then I saw Tilde's bracket, and he had to play a Goblin, which was like, I mean, I didn't really see an issue with that. Like, I've never seen him fight a Roy, but like, it just kind of seemed like he just hit him once, and then it's like all good, you know. And
Yeah.
then he had to play Mars after to qualify, and it was like he beat Mars the last time, so I
Yeah.
was like, okay, like New York is gonna do like nice at this qualifier,
Yeah.
like no cap.
Sure.
And then so they both qualified, and then in their pools they were literally doing crazy. Like I woke up till they like 3-0 Gluto, and then Zomba's like 3-0 Riddles, AV, like and like Tarek in his pool, and like getting out in winners because he took a game off Meister. Like
Dude,
it was
Tilde
just
versus
insane to watch.
Gluto, dude. Tilde versus Gluto was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It wasn't even close. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you. I'm sure, but you guys both saw it. The first game I think it was on Smashville. The
The
last
last
stock.
stock?
I was
Yes, bro,
standing up and
yes.
screaming. I was like, no,
Yes,
Tilde. It was ridiculous.
Dude, and then the Kalos game, he literally walked up to like Gluto shielding, and then he's like, "I'm gonna read your rollback," and then he just jumps behind him, downer, backer,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-mm.
It was
Yeah,
just-
Tilde is they're a beast. Like Tilde is amazing, Zomba's amazing. They're both so crazy at the game.
yeah.
And like I mean, I definitely knew like I mean way before because I feel like you might have not heard too much about like Zomba or Tilde
Yeah.
before the quarantine. But I mean you did hear about Zomba, right? Because I mean Zomba definitely got a win on Tweek at a certain point too.
Yeah.
Zomba beat me in bracket before. So I always knew that like I was like ever since I first even met Zomba, I was like, yeah, no, I feel like this kid is gonna get really, really good. I don't know when, but like I knew he was gonna get like really, really good. But yeah, like seeing them both turn up, it was like super, super dope to see. And yeah, it was actually pretty interesting. Was me and Tilde, we went to this France tournament around I would say a couple months ago. It was called Temple, and both me and Tilde didn't really like perform too hot there. Everyone was like, "Yo, we want to really see Tilde versus Gluto. Like that would be an amazing set." So I know Tilde really, really wanted to. He didn't get to fight him at Temple, so him playing him at the Smash World Tour was like kind of like finally he got his chance to fight Gluto, and like that actually
He was
happened.
ready. He was ready.
Yeah. For sure. So that was really cool. What's so surprising, I actually I didn't see the Tilde Gluto set. I have to go back and
I'm
watch
sorry,
it.
yeah.
There's so many sets I didn't watch actually. I kind of just tuned in.
Start with that
Like I
one.
heard Zomba was playing and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch some of these games and yeah, I mostly just watch like Zomba's games, but yeah.
Yeah, like
Pretty
close
wild
to
stuff.
top 12 and stuff, you know. Like,
Yeah. That's mostly when I started watching.
Yeah, for me, Tilde, it's also interesting, like talking about, like, you know, especially in New York, we've seen these people for a while back, even before they were known. But I remember Tilde used to come to my locals popping off back in Smash 4 under a different tag. His original tag was Mock.
Mac.
Yeah, Mock or
Oh,
Mac,
yeah.
I don't know, M-A-K.
Yeah.
And he was a Fox main. He was nice from the get-go, but like a lot of people are nice from the get-go, and like they don't necessarily turn into anything. But you know, for people who weren't in Smash, honestly, if you weren't in New York in Smash 4, you probably still didn't know of him. But like, even I think he had the Tilde tag toward the end, and he was doing well with Fox. I even remember one really close set against you, Eric, that he had at a Xeno. I don't remember who won it, but I remember. I think it was like
Yeah.
there was like a lot of spaghetti towards the end, and then like somebody missed something that they had, and then the other person killed them. I don't remember what happened, but
That was and I remember that too. Yeah, me and Tilde have actually played many sets in Smash 4 before. I don't think he's ever beaten me, but he's gotten close many, many times in Smash 4. And it would be like every time we'd play, it'd be like game 3,
Yeah.
really, really close. And there was this one time at a Xeno where it's like he had me beat, but he
Yeah.
like dropped something and I killed him for it. It was I believe that was the situation that you're
yeah, I think he
referencing.
had like an up smash confirm or something that he missed, and then like you forward smashed him or something like that, probably. Yeah,
Yeah.
As-
Probably, but no, he's been nice for a while. Definitely a player that's kind of flew under the radar, you know, type thing. But no, yeah, he was really, really good. You know what I mean? Like,
Word. Ddog, what did you think of SWT?
It was hype. Bro, I was like cheering for Zomba every set. I didn't see the Tilde sets. I think I was asleep
Mhm.
in the morning, but it was just a hype experience. And after Zomba got fourth, I brought him Wawa.
That's, oh, so you
That's so
were
funny.
there with him, you mean, or like you mean when he got back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was there with him.
Oh, so you actually got to like be in the crowd and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
So what was it like experiencing that live? Like, was the crowd was it like a tri-state crowd, or like really loud and everything? Or
I actually converted someone. The person I was like next to at first, he was supporting like the Aegis players, and then I was like, "But it's Zomba," and then he started cheering with me.
sick. So you actually brought people on with it. That's awesome.
I think it was from SoCal.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like against the Cola set, I think most people cheered for Cola because Cola's just a fan favorite.
Yeah.
But in the other ones, I'd say it was majority Zomba.
That's awesome. Yes, it's not that easy to get people to cheer for r.o.b. And we'll definitely ask Zomba all about that. Before we get him on, there's just a couple other things that I wrote down that I wanted to, at least mention from SWT. We already talked about Tilde taking out Gluto, but there was also Base Mage came and took out Gluto with Puff in like a reverse 3-0, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys see that?
I actually didn't see that. I saw the first two games and Gluto won. And
yeah, it's like
I actually turned off the set. Yeah. So like
this is over.
I was surprised when I saw on Twitter that it was like, oh, Base Mage like the goat, like So I mean, that's a good win for him. Like for sure.
He did pretty well in general too. I think he also beat Tilde, I think, because I remember it was like one of them was going to make it out or something.
And that was like the set where like I think Tilde, I don't know if it was that set or after Tilde played the Me Gunner where he's like, I'm never gonna camp. I'm literally gonna play the way I want to play. And like Tilde is like one of the fastest players, right? Like so, like I mean sometimes he slows it down and he lasers, right? But it's like when he hits you, it's like he's fast. Like he doesn't even think about the reads he's going for. He just does it. Like so. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Like why he felt like kind of frustrated when he fought like Wario, Me Gunner, and Puff. Like like that makes a lot of sense to me.
The most heartbreaking thing was that it was literally Game 5 last hit against the Gunner, and that wound up determining who made it out. Like if he won that one game, that one stock, then he would have made it to the next round. But because of that, it wasn't. But it wasn't like the last set, so it didn't have that kind of weight on it at the time. And I wonder if it would have been any different if it had. But I mean, regardless, he did super well. All right, welcome Zomba. So we were just talking a lot about SWT. We all enjoyed watching it. Pretty wild event. Honestly, even if we weren't New York City players ourselves, your performance was absolutely one of the most significant things about the tournament. So I guess the first thing is just like, how was your experience at the tournament? And, you're a very ambitious player. Are you satisfied with how you did at this tournament, or were you hoping for even better?
So the tournament itself, like, it was pretty fun, like going, because we were coming from doing the online qualifier, and then it's like, oh, I didn't qualify from that because I suck on the line. So like, oh shit, now there's like an LCQ, and then when I did that, I was like, yeah, I could definitely qualify. I know like I'm good enough for it. And so when like the whole like the LCQ happened, I was like, oh shit, I'm like kind of just fighting people I know I could like 100% beat and people I have beaten before. So it was just fun, and it's like, oh yeah, I know I can do this. I play like Louis Money and Mysterica. I was like, yeah, they're people I have beaten and can beat. So that whole part is like, yeah, I knew I could like qualify 100%. And then like, actually like my placing, like yeah, I got fourth, which like no one really expected. But I beat people who is like, I practice with Jude a lot, Jackal, with like Sonic. I know the Olimar matchup a lot for Shuton. And it's like, I've played Cola enough before to like the point where it's like, I know I can beat him. It's just a matter of when I can actually beat him. And when I'm fighting CoZmos, I just trolled. Like, game 2, I was like up a lot, and then I just started like getting inside my own head, and I was like, at that point, I know like I should be doing better. Like I still did really good, but it's like I can't really be happy, or I can't really be like complacent with like just doing that because I have to do better, obviously.
Yeah, I think, from the experience I've had talking to and just witnessing a lot of other people who do really well and who have a lot of success as players, if you were completely content with how you did, you wouldn't have made it that far in the first place. Like it takes that mindset to get that far, I think, which it's, if anybody says like, oh, you should be happy or whatever, I think that's BS. Like you should absolutely want more because you proved that you can get that far. Like I don't know if Ralph still has the bracket up, but if you do, let's take how many reverse 3-0s was that? Because I remember distinctly as I was watching this, I watched every set that you played live, and I was saying to myself, like there was one, I think it was against, was it Ken? I think there was a reverse 3-0 against the Sonic, or at least a reverse 3 stock, and he forward smashed you on Battlefield, I think it was, and you were down 2 stocks.
And we were all like, it's over.
No, I deadass said to myself. Oh no! After I said to myself like, and I said like, I thought I was lying to myself at the time, but I said, you know what? He always seems to do better when he's down, so this is probably fine.
Yeah.
Yo, so what's crazy? Like, I literally was like, I knew you were gonna bring it back. I was like, nah, he wins these for sure.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I knew it. Against Shuton too. Like against Shuton, I believe you were down by a lot, and I was like, nah, like you got this.
Making like those comebacks like that, like. I tend to notice that whenever I'm like losing, it's mostly like when you're on the stage, you can kind of like lost in the moment a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like trying to like pull myself back in there. Like I'm like down 3 stocks to 1 to Ken, and then I'm like, okay, I need to like hyper focus on like pretty much everything to make sure like I'm not losing like any actual focus. Because like if I start losing focus, I'm just done. I'm not gonna win that.
Yeah, something you just reminded of me real quick is that I remember looking. I'm pretty sure you weren't even wearing headphones, were you? That's crazy.
Yeah,
when I play Smash, I don't really like wearing headphones because it always like felt weird playing with headphones in Smash. Like I can play other games fine with headphones, but it's like with Smash specifically, it just feels like weird to me. Like I've sometimes like I'll like listen to music, but that's like earbuds and stuff like that. And I didn't usually when I play it like always depends.
Yeah.
Like say at locals, sometimes I'll listen to music and just sometimes I won't. I remember one time I was like down 3 stocks to 1 to a local Bale player. His tag's like Con, and I brought it back right when I took off my headphones or my earbuds. I was like, oh, I win that. So it's like. I think it's more like a mental thing. It's not like an actual like, oh, I can't win with it, but it's just like mentally in my head, like it just feels weird.
No, I mean, I relate in that I don't like playing Smash with headphones either, but I've never been on the stage of an international tournament. Something, because I know they do this at some majors, but do they have the commentary coming through like the loudspeakers at the venue? Like, could you hear the commentary? Okay, good. Because I can imagine that could be distracting. Like, especially if somebody says some like BS about your play, and you're like, "That's not what I did."
I remember. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but like, so like when I'm sitting in the crowd, I could hear the commentary, but then like when I would like play on stage at a major, I wouldn't be able to hear it. So like,
well, it's probably just where they're aimed.
Yeah.
It depends which where you are. When you're in the side stream, you could hear the commentary a little bit because they're in the back. In like the VIP section, but when you're on the main stage, you didn't hear it. So, and it didn't really affect any like sets on the side stream.
Speaking of affecting any sets, the underdog boost. What do you have to say about that?
See, so when I saw the tweet about the underdog boost, like, oh, this is like a possibility, and my set was up next, I was like, I'm gonna have to check. To see if it's on. And then when I saw it on, I was like, oh my god, now we're gonna have to like go through everything, and like it was annoying. But I feel like my set specifically, because I watched it back, because in my head I'm like, okay, did I really win because of underdog boost, or did I win because I'm nasty? And when I watched it, I was like, no, nothing substantial was affected. Like obviously like small, like maybe some combos were affected, but no like me living or me dying was like affected. And same with him. Like, actually, when I was playing versus Shuton, which is my only set where I won, I think was affected. He died to my side B at like 80, which is like, okay, that's Rob's side B off stage at 80 versus the light character.
Yeah.
But in my head, I noted like, oh shit, he exploded.
Yeah.
Like, And at first, I was just like, oh, maybe he just DI'd into the blast zone. But then I'm like, it's like international tournament. Like, I don't know, just like try to live it, even though it's probably like you're not living it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like I noted that, and then once I heard the underdog list, I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then I watched it back, and yeah, I was losing at that point. So it definitely like had some effect. But no, when I looked at all the interactions, nothing was really like, oh, I won because of like I underdog boost killed him at like 40%, where he would have died.
That's good. And
Sure.
I guess I think it's been established at this point, but like whenever people go for their sets, you know, at majors or even just at a local, just got to check the rules, honestly, even though it's like doing it every set, I guess, is like really annoying. But if it's like a stream set at a major, like on stage and everything like that, I think it's like you might as well, right?
It's funny too, because I like check the rule set at locals, and I was like, you know what, man, I'm sure someone else checked the rules. Like, people said they checked the rules. They're also not looking for underdog boosts. So it's like that one weird rule. It's like,
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
actually, I'm pretty sure the first, like, bigger Smash tournament, it was like, it had to be like month 1 in the game. It actually was affected by underdog boosts.
Oh, really?
It was like Kobe versus, I think, Zero, actually.
But that was so long ago.
I do remember Zero was like
that Florida tournament. I know the one you're talking about.
He killed with Lucina of Smash Shieldbreaker at like 44%, which is literally like that doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was like a frame perfect or something like that.
Smash Conference.
Yeah.
Smash Conference. Yeah. One of those MVG events. Yeah.
I didn't know that had underdog boost. I never even heard about that. That's wild. Like so many years later.
I think that's the only one that I've heard that like had underdog boost affected. Actually, yeah, with Riptide also. See, my whole thing about like playing sets with when the rules aren't exactly it, because I'll like meme about it. Like if I lost a Shuton and then there's underdog boost, I'm like, damn, I ain't lost because of underdog boost.
Mm-hmm.
But in my head, I'm like underdog boost and like 0.9 and everything else. It's like it doesn't like affect my like neutral decision and my own decision making. So it's like, okay, I'm still losing, even if like, oh, maybe I would have died a little bit later. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, pick F Smash, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I remember at Riptide when you lost to Miles. Like we were obviously memeing like, oh, you didn't lose that like 0.9, right? but like when you got like serious with it, you were like, oh, none of the ways I died and none of the ways I was losing neutral was because of 0.9. So like, you know, like, and I feel like that was like a pretty good mindset to have.
Yeah, you know what you got to do is you got to own the term now, because it makes underdog boost sounds more like what happens to you when you're down in a set. Like you're down 2 stocks and you just like edit in the combo video, underdog boost on, and then you make the reverse 3-stock comeback. That's the real underdog boost. But yeah, some other things that I was going to ask. You know, you mentioned stuff. CoZmos, I think, was the only one who beat you, right, in this whole event. Or I guess maybe in pools there might have been something else, but
it was Meister.
Right, Meister, yeah. So what do you feel about like the AEGIS matchup for r.o.b, especially since that's becoming a very, very, very common character to deal with?
I think that matchup is terrible, and it's probably r.o.b's 3rd worst matchup behind Game & Watch and Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually trying to like try my other characters for her. Because I feel like the problem with AEGIS is that she's just broken.
Yeah.
Like Mithra's way too fast for her. Like she just overwhelms r.o.b. And okay, when he's Pyra, he's still just a good player to like understand like the key moments to when to actually use her. Because Pyra's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly Mithra, but they like work together in such a way where it's there's not a lot. Like I could do stuff obviously. Like I know like in certain situations, like I should be doing this, and I know I can win, but it just feels a lot harder. Like, and AEGIS also isn't. It's weird because they're, in my opinion, probably the best character in this game at this point.
Yeah, I think so too.
It also feels like that, like not a lot of like high level players play them. You only really see like already established top players playing as them. But it's insane because it's already top players playing as like a broken character.
Mm-hmm.
Where like say with Pikachu, there's like only ESAM.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I feel like with that like added, like they're easy, broken, and I mean like I guess more people just have fun with them because their like play style is a lot more like aggro. People are like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on the Aegis train, and it's like now I'm gonna have to learn a matchup for like fucking 5 different top players.
Yeah, the more of them that there are, at least it'll be easier to learn the matchup. Like in general, even at lower levels, you can, if more people start playing them, then you get like some experience against the character. But definitely seems like a rough matchup. Was there anything else that you guys wanted to ask as well? Because I realized I haven't been giving you guys enough chances to get in there.
I mean, like, I think what's like super impressive about like Zomba, like your run Zomba, is like, all right, like obviously Shuton, like, okay, I kind of expected you to win that just because you beat Myron like 3 times and you played the buzz like enough to the point where it's like, okay, like Olimar, like that's fine. It was a little closer than I expected, honestly. I literally thought it was gonna be like a 3-0 or a 3-1 because you're pretty good at that matchup. But yeah, Shuton kind of surprised me with that. But I honestly was like surprised at how like composed you were versus Ken, because I remember watching one fusion where you absolutely destroyed Jude's Wolf, and then sorry for the background noise, but you like destroyed Jackal's Wolf, and then he goes Sonic, and you like barely win. You tweet after you're like one fusion, someone teach me how to fight Sonic or something like that, and then like it's just impressive like how fast you went from that to just like beating one of the best Sonics in the world. So that was also impressive. And then obviously you lost to Cola at Fall Fest or SmashCon, whatever, and that's like and CEO, so like that's a pretty good win. That's just like showing
that set was like, crazy. That last stock, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, Zomba does the up laser to up 9 times. It will miss 8 times. So one time
he just does it every time. He's just like, if you jump, because it makes sense, because like if you laser them and they don't jump, then they still have their jump. But if you always cover the jump with the laser, then like anytime it works, they lose their jump and they're like dead.
Yeah.
I lost money on that stit.
You did?
You bet on Cola? Dude,
no, I bet on Zomba.
No, he won it. One of the previous ones, or?
No, not the previous one. The one where the last, like, not the SWT set.
Right. Oh, okay.
CEO.
Yeah.
Just one tournament too short. Yeah.
Dude, I made so much money betting on Zomba versus Shuton and Ken. But what I was gonna say is like, okay, so like the Cola set was pretty impressive because you lost him like twice in a row. And then like, I mean, obviously we're pretty close, so we already talked about it. Like, when you played CoZmos at, I think it was like SmashCon, you said you like literally like almost got 9 stocks. So like going from that to like a Game 5 set and then like a very competitive like 3v1 set.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a very, very like, I'd say like, even though obviously every tournament you want to win, but like that was a big step in terms of like just like, oh, like I'm not this up and comer. I'm literally like top level. Like I'm pretty, like. So I think that was pretty impressive. Like, I'm a big Zomba fan when he's not in New York, but like when he's here, I gotta hate on him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think when I play, like, say when I beat Ken, right, or like the Sonic matchup. So after I fought Jackal a bunch, like he's like going Sonic a lot versus me now. I think that might change now because I beat Ken, but I don't know what his plans are. But we actually grinded on Wi-Fi a little bit, and he did like a bunch of games like his Sonic versus like my r.o.b, Roy, and Link. And I was like just understanding the matchup a lot more. And when I was fighting Ken, like obviously Ken is like really, really good. But I feel like once you like play the matchup enough times and I'm like fighting Jackal who like understands how I play, you know? So it feels like a bit harder than fighting like, okay, maybe Ken's a better Sonic, but he's not better at fighting Zomba.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it feels like, oh, like, in like school, how teachers like might make homework harder for like tests, and then it's like, oh, the tests are easier. That's how it felt like a little bit, if you understand what I mean.
Like your practice was way harder than like, or like not way harder, but like you had such hard practice with Jackal that like it made fighting Ken like very like tolerable and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think like, because obviously like I made a huge comeback versus Ken. I feel like those types of comebacks, especially versus like circumstances, it's like, okay, it's Ken. He's up 3 stocks to 1, and then now I take the stock. I was like smashing at that point, just trying to kill him. I think I killed him like a side via like ledge, but now it's like even percent, but he's still up a stock. So I know like I have to pull something out of my ass. So it's like, okay, I have to like kind of get the right reads, and that's what I kind of did. Like I bait, because I like reaction played versus him, but he did a lot of like really bad like scared options, and then in those circumstances, like obviously like you're fighting r.o.b. It's game 5 at like the first championship tournament, and you're fighting someone like, oh my god, like I could still lose this, and then that's like I think I read like his landing options like twice in a row, and then I read his jump with the back air, and I was like, okay, yeah, now this is completely even game. I win these.
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
You just play off of that gear when people get, and especially because like Ken's like he's established. He's been a top player since Smash 4, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And people like obviously like no one's like expecting me to win besides like my own like friends who know about me. So it's like Ken is probably like shitting his pants right now. I'm about to get reverse restocked by this like child r.o.b main at this international tournament, and then it like just plays into the sphere because I'll be honest, game 1 Ken, game 5 Ken, completely different players. Game 1 he made the comeback versus me, and then I'm like, oh shit, I could lose. And then now game 5 he's just playing super scared, and I won because he backed himself into a corner, and I just read his scared option. It like spin dashed into me, my backyard. And then same with like Shuton. Actually no, Shuton I just like did I read his him trying to get to ledge in a certain way, so like side beat him and like killed him. But then that was like when he literally zero-deducted me that stock too.
Yeah,
so
he was
that was also
mashing on the last stock, bro. He was doing like 3 rising aerials. You're like, fuck out of here. I'm a back here.
Yeah. The Zomba.
And then even like fighting Kola, right? Because actually for SmashCon and CEO, we both like practiced with each other. Like at SmashCon, I went to him and Aaron's room, and we did like a whole grind session the day before we even knew we had to fight. And then we had a fight, and we're like, oh shit. And then for CEO, we did the same thing because I was supposed to. Well, he was gonna fight Mutace, and he lost Mutace.
Mm-hmm.
So then we're like, oh shit, now we're gonna play each other. When we literally were grinding for like 2 hours, we, Aaron, and him also. So I was like, oh damn, this is one tournament we didn't grind together.
Interesting.
Wow.
Damn, he downloaded you before the bracket, bro. Close my boy, but damn, that's grimy, bro.
But I think like when you play someone and then you're gonna have to fight them in bracket, like even if you don't know, it kind of like gives you like a different sense of like, okay, like I'm expecting X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then when you're fighting a bracket, then you're like, okay, because obviously like everyone's gonna fight different in bracket compared to friendlies, but you're already into feeling like, okay, I like understand his play style without like actually playing his bracket play style. And when you play the bracket play style, it just feels like a little bit overwhelming, let's just say. And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna lose when it like friendlies were going like very competitive. Like obviously friendlies isn't like the huge like end all be all, because obviously it's like you're still practicing with each other like to get better. But it's not obviously the same level as bracket. So when fighting him at Smash World Tour, it was like, okay, I was up 2-0 in the set, and he almost reverse railed me. And I mean, game 1, I won. I think that was just like a pretty convincing win. I don't remember any cheese. Game 2, I got a cheese trap combo, if I remember. It was literally like, I like threw the gyro up, and then he neutral get up onto like the stage, and when the gyro hit him, it sent him back into me. So I did like a dash attack, grab, and then grabs the gyro, and I just killed him off of it. And it's like, I just won game 2. And then at that point, like after he won game 3, in my head I was like, you know what? This is like the big tournament, right? I have to try different options. So he came up to me and was like, you want to just run it back to PS2? And I was like, no, fuck it, no. I need to like try like the different experiences and like try to see like what actually works. Like even when I play like Jackal, we just run it back to PS2, but I keep telling him like, bro, high key, we just need to test out the other stages. Like I'm fighting Ken, I never played Jackal on Battlefield. I might not know like what to do, you know. So it's like it's good to like experience like the differences. Even when I played Shuton, we just kept going back on counter picks. Like actually, I think I switched mine, but Game 5 because he won on PS2 twice. But I knew Game 1 PS2 and Game 3 PS2 were like two completely different games. So when it was Game 5, at first he checked getting PS2, but that tournament actually had DSR. So that's when I actually enacted it. I was like, I kind of like. I think I should definitely try it because I know if I just run it back on PS2 and I lose there, then I'll be like in my head, I'm like, bro, I literally have like a whole rule where like it just stops that.
Yeah,
like,
I think the commentators were even like, "Oh nah," he said nah because like he tried to go to it, right? And then yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm sorry, I can't go there. That's why we went FD last game.
Yeah, so
I think.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, I think from a lot of things that you're saying, some interesting things. For one thing, like, playing people in friendlies versus playing them in bracket. Like, it's interesting because if you go in bracket, it's like you have mix-ups from zero. Like, normally, if you're, going in against somebody, if you never played them, then it's like, how do they play, and then how do they mix it up, like, or like, what do they favor, and then like, what's their alternate option. But like, you already know what they favor, so then it's like, I'm ready for this, but like, it's bracket, so they might play different, or they're just gonna mix up anyway because like, I know what to expect. And then also just like what you said before that about like, kind of like with the reverse 3 stocks and everything, I think is something that a lot of like, if players are watching, like they can learn from that mindset of like, it sounds like you have like a very realistic approach to the gameplay where you'll be in a situation where like you said, like, I think I forget if it was against Ken or somebody where you were down 2 stocks. And like at one point you said you were just mashing, like just trying to take the stock. And then you did take the stock. And a lot of players like would still be caught in that like just desperation phase even after they achieve that. But it's like, no, wait a minute. Like now we're back into a place where we can do things. And it's so important, especially with Ultimate, for people to always remember how easily a stock can disappear. Like, if remember the game that Spargo and CoZmos played, where Spargo switched to Cloud and like just destroyed him and everything like that. Even when he was down to
angry Spargo,
when
spiked him twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even when CoZmos was down those 2 stocks, like when Spargo, like obviously Spargo had so much momentum, and that's hard to kill, but like. If Spargo, it feels like, oh my God, I have so much to make up because I'm down 2 stocks, right? But it wasn't so much for Spargo to take those stocks, you know what I'm saying? So if all you need is that amount of effort to take 2 stocks, then you're not down that much, really, Obviously, it could be a different amount, but I think like having that understanding of the game in situations like that is so vital because if you're just like desperate and not believing you can make the comeback without doing insanely desperate things, you're never going to make it. Like, just take like you said, like a few more reads, like in certain places, like you need to make something happen, but you don't need to like force it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Smash is a lot of like the mental game in it. Like when I was fighting CoZmos, like I could say like, it was game 2, I was already up 1-0.
Yeah.
And I was up 3 stocks to 1, and I lost that, and then in my head I'm like, fuck.
It's so hard to try at that point, right?
Yeah.
You tossed, bro. You tossed.
I did. But at that point, it's like Smash is so much mental to the point where it's like say Spargo versus CoZmos, right? Let's say CoZmos brought that game, but like he could have lost that game, but let's say he brought it back, right? You know how like different that could have been?
Yeah.
Like, say Spargo literally 0 deaths in both stocks, like it's looking like a JV4, and what if CoZmos brings that back? And like obviously, like you can play games not to just win it, but to play for the intel.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like in Game 5, you can't do that. But when it's like, you have an affordable game to lose, okay, obviously you don't want to lose a game, you want to just win. But you can still play for like to gain the extra like knowledge about it. And then if you can make your opponent like shook, even if they win the game, that's insane. You know what I mean? Like. That's why I feel like a lot of like, say when I play Jackal a lot, right? He used to be like insanely high up in our sec count. Like I think I only beat him 1 time before COVID happened, and that we played a lot. And like obviously like he was significantly better than me at the time. So to me it was like, oh, he's just farming me, and I don't know what to do. And then now, like, I brought it all. I think I'm positive on him now, which is like insane if you think about it. Since I think our set count had to be like 16-1 before
Damn.
then. So yeah, so it's like now the first time I beat him coming back was actually at the regional cross up, which was like insane because that's like, oh, this was like the first big tri-state event coming back, and like, okay, people knew I was good in tri-state. People didn't really know how good I was. You know what I mean?
Well, now certainly, I think they have a good idea.
And so at that point, I still had like to prove to everyone, like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm insane, you know. And like that was the tournament where I also lost to Mr. O, and like that's not someone like people are like really thinking like I'm gonna lose, you know. Like people are like, yeah, Zomba's gonna just get into winners top 8, then he's gonna lose like Jackal, you know.
Yeah.
And gaining like that difference in the mindset, because I was talking to Jackal like before even our set, because I was like just trying to understand like how his own like mindset works towards it, and he's like, I know you can beat me because obviously like you came close and you technically have, but I feel like if you mix up like your certain decision making habits, that just like changes like so many things about it.
Yeah.
Like, and like at words it like kind of like stuck, and I was like, yeah, I can do it. I know I can do it, and I just have to make that like good adjustment.
The mental game definitely so important, and especially in a game like we said, like where things turn around so quickly. I think it's funny you mentioned I think it was like set 2 game 2 versus CoZmos, or like the second set you played against CoZmos that tournament where you were up 2 stocks or whatever, and I was watching Nairo's restream of the tournament, and obviously he's friends with CoZmos, so he was rooting for CoZmos, and when you had that lead, Nairo's like, it's over, he lost. Like Nairo had completely he had completely given up on CoZmos at that point.
But then when it turned 1 stock to 1, he's like, wait, we can go on this. Wait.
Absolutely. So yeah, if any of you guys have any more questions for Zomba, let's go for that now.
Eric, you go first, and then I'll go second.
I mean, I feel like so many stuff has actually been like talked about and answered.
Yeah.
So right now, I feel like I'm pretty good. But if I think of anything, I'll say something.
Well, I mean, first off, thanks for taking time out of your busy.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Thank you so much.
Metafy whatever / @Zomba.
Yo, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to shout out everything at the end, but
anyways, but I mean, like, I guess I just want to talk about like, I mean, Roy already talked about it, like how like solid you are at comebacks, because like hold the line literally to like win the tournament, you literally had to reverse 3 stock Tilde, and then like to beat Ken, you literally had to reverse 3 stock him. So it's like, and everyone's like, how does he do it? Like, and I feel like the mindset I've always had when I'm in like this like 3 stock to win comeback is like, okay, like I take the first stock, and then like I need to focus on like not taking as much damage, or like I'm focusing more so on like how much damage I'm taking rather than like doing damage to them, because like if I take 100 damage when they're up like 3 stocks to 1, it's over, like it's just done. Like, but I mean, I feel like since you're playing r.o.b, it's like, you could just kill them with a down air or like a side B at 50, so it's just like I feel like you're just like very mentally solid in those comebacks, and I think it's like very impressive. Like, and I don't know,
it's like it's playing with fear, or playing first fear when them, like you have to basically give fear into them. And I'm playing r.o.b, so everyone's like, I can die at 40% off of an air at ledge. Most characters can't do that, you know. So they're like, I could just lose when I was winning. And that whole like, because like it's dynamic, you know. There's like multiple characters, like there's a bunch of cheesy shit. That's one of them. You know, so like being able to like keep the stable mind and then making your opponent scared when you're losing, that's how you start making the comeback. And then it's making the right decisions, obviously. Like say when I was fighting Ken, right, I get like one good read, okay, I get another good read on his landing option, right? And then when you think, like, you start understanding like what they're probably gonna do when you start reading them, they're gonna do the most like panicky option they can. So when Ken lands right away with like a nair and caught it with like a gyro, now Ken's like, oh, I have to like jump away because like all the like hit stuff and stuff. So like it seems like his best option. Hard caught it out with the back air, and he's dead at 80. You know.
Yeah, and then when you're in that like one stock to one stock, I feel like the game's obviously not won, but like the mental advantage is like so in your favor because it's like, oh my god, I was up 3 stocks to 1. Like, I'm like now they're in like full panic mode where you're just like, you just have like full momentum because like I talked about this with Rory like off stream obviously or like off the recording. It's like when you're making like comebacks like that, you're hitting them so much more than they're hitting you that it's like the momentum is just so in your favor that it's just it's like more likely than not if you get it to like an even stock, like you're probably gonna win.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I think what I've talked about with Ralph on that is I even call it the momentum theory because in Smash, especially Ultimate, there are certain situations and certain matchups where you're arguably winning if you're on the same stock and you're at kill percent and they're at 0. Because it's hard for a lot of characters to just kill you from neutral. But it's really easy for most characters to start a combo and like momentum in neutral. And then you have rage, and then that turns into both psychological momentum and also just favorable situations where you can take a stock from one read. So it's like, it's obviously not always the case and you don't want to be at kill percent, but like that's another reason why comebacks happen so much in Smash Ultimate is just because of that momentum you can get from being the player at high percent, hitting somebody at low percent.
Yeah, and I mean, just from talking to you, Zomba, it's like I already know like so much more than like most people do about you. Like even watching the majors, it's just like there was one time we were talking and you're just like, oh, like you were literally like, oh, I like know like when people are scared, like I know what they're gonna do, and like I try and focus more on my positioning and just like keeping like throwing them off stage rather than getting like a guaranteed like up throw fair or something, you know. Like it's like once you have like that feel for something, you're just like so good at killing someone off stage and just like at the ledge that I feel like that's like that like contributes to why you're so good at like coming back. So
yeah, because like when you're playing a character like r.o.b that has those like tools, like I was actually talking to Fanadima about it, right? Because his approach is mostly like getting that guaranteed damage. Because for his mindset, it's like if you get the guaranteed damage, then it puts you into better, like it gives you more leeway because like, oh, they have extra damage, you can kill them. But I think the problem is that, well, not the actual problem, but r.o.b can kill you at any percent, so it doesn't matter if like, oh, you do a 77% extra combo, right? Because if you get the positioning right, you can kill them. You know,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, oh, you read the jump of a laser, right? Versus Cola.
Yep.
He's in a position to die at 30%. Where if he went for a guaranteed like, say like up throw fair like combo, it's like okay, you did damage, but you didn't.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't do like anything substantial to like actually like put him in a bad situation.
He's not scared, pretty much. Like
you just did a combo.
Yeah, there's no chance of dying.
Where if you do the mix up off stage, where okay, even let's say I hit the laser and I missed the gyro, which is like that can happen because you can still like change your drift or anything.
Yeah.
It's like okay, now he's still at ledge and has to try coming from ledge. I can still kill him after that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you nair his neutral get up and then you just side beat him. Like it's like literally so common, and I've seen you do it so many times that it's just like it's like you almost have like steps to it, you know? It's like okay, I throw the laser up. Oh, he jumped. Okay, you die. Oh, you didn't jump. Okay, I'm gonna gyro. You got hit by the gyro. Okay, you die. Yeah, oh, you didn't get hit by the gyro. Okay, I'm gonna go for a spike. Oh, you died.
Yeah.
Oh, the spike didn't hit. Okay, I'm gonna ledge trap. And then if I hit you with something on the ledge trap, you're gonna die. Like you have like a like I wouldn't even say it's like a flow chart, but like it's like you definitely have like you're very good at just like okay, I missed something. I'm still in a good position to kill you after, you know, like, and I think that's like a very, very solid like way of approaching the game because just going for guaranteed damage all the time and playing so safe, it's like you're gonna miss stuff that like you wouldn't otherwise get from playing like kind of.
That's how you start losing.
Risky. Yeah.
In my opinion, like if you're only going for guaranteed stuff, that's when you start like having people start making comeback towards you because when you're at the point when you're like, okay, I'm gonna go for like a guaranteed damage, you're not going for anything like outlandish, and at that point, like your opponent is like, I'm not scared. You're doing your normal stuff, which everyone has normal combos, obviously.
Yeah.
And everyone has like actual like mix-ups to kill you. Like it might not be as effective, or it might be in like different scenarios, but it's not. It's to the point where it's like, okay, you're doing. Let's say me Tilde hold the lane, right? I was watching the set back. He won the set. He hit me with up tilt at like 110.
Yeah, and he missed a confirm, and then you literally just are just throwing him off stage constantly. He's side being to the center of the stage, and it's like, holy, like you just capitalized on his fear so well, and it's like it's obvious. It's like, okay, the person you're playing made so many mistakes, but like another player might not have killed him for making that many mistakes, you know. Whereas like
Exactly.
he gave you 3 mistakes and you just killed him, like, you know. It's like more impressive that you're killing people out the mistakes than them actually making the mistakes.
And I think it's so cool also that it's Zomba and Tilde who are, you know, always, you know, it's like you look so many grand finals in Xeno here in New York City, both of them repping super hard at that tournament. Ddog with the upset, like not to just like, you know, flex our region so much, but NYC has been doing great. And you know, with that, it's been an absolute pleasure to have so many of you guys from our region as well to talk to today. We're going to have to wrap it up at this point, but I just want to go around and give everybody a chance to just shout out their social media. A lot of people on Metafy right now. If you guys have the same order as me, it's me, Eric, Ralph, Zomba, Ddog. Is that the way you guys see it? We could just go around the circle. So, Eric, where can people find you?
Didn't say like shit this whole entire talk, but
if there's something if you want to go back to the topic, we can.
Yeah.
I just, you know.
I mean, I'm chilling really. I mean, I've just kind of been intrigued, just like listening to, you know, Zomba speak and Ddog speak earlier. A lot of the stuff, like questions I had were answered, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just to like sum it up, I'm just really like impressed, but at the same time, I'm not shocked because like I of course, like before quarantine, I knew of Zomba, of course, and when I first met him, I was like, yeah, no, I know this kid's gonna be really good one day. I don't know when, but like I knew at some point. So, you know, although he's turning up, like it's not really a shock to me, but it's like I'm like really just like, damn, that's awesome. So, you know, you keep it up, obviously. But yeah, like, you know, MRES is beyond everything. You know, I definitely am hyped to do one of these again because this was like really cool, and I'll definitely try and talk a lot more next time. You know.
All right, Ralph.
Yeah, so for Twitter and Twitch, you can find me at twitch.tv/GNRalphie, twitter.com/GNRalphie, and then my Instagram is _Ralphie. So those are like the three main platforms I'd be using. So yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun doing this. Like, I'm really hyped to do like more future episodes as well, like, and see how this grows, and just like in terms of this episode in particular, like it's just like pretty cool because obviously like I'm pretty close with Zomba, so like I already have like a lot of like background information on how he thinks and just like his mindset and stuff, like just because we're like close friends and stuff, you know. So it was a lot of fun for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Zomba, where can people check you out?
Actually, first, so
yeah,
I can get Eric a little bit of help. So we talked about earlier, like my plans versus AEGIS. So I mean, if you guys want to talk about it, I can tell you like which character specifically.
Go for it.
Okay, so I talked about it with actually Esam a little bit and some other like Spargo. And quick thing, so apparently Roy Pyther trash. Apparently that match was really, really bad.
Yeah, you get whip punish for it. It's bad. Like,
so the character I actually was thinking of was Link. Not much. Link? Which is actually like no one really sees Link.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if I can make that work, that's kind of insane because there's no other like really, really, really good Link players playing at that level, you know. So I think like if I can like break that mold from it and like show people a lot of, like, actually do, because when I was playing Link a lot more, I was also when I was kind of like with the raw players, like I would show like you don't have to be this like super technical like
footstool infinite.
Like I actually learned how to do some of like the more optimal combos and not the like, okay, this is like super like you're not really gonna get it a lot. But I like understand how to like actually do most of like, okay, I can definitely hit like a bomb nair to like a footstool combo. That like that's a scenario where I can that has happened, you know. So I think like obviously Link like isn't comparatively to like say Rob, Roy, and Aegis, he isn't that good, but he's still his own like character archetype, and he's still not bad. But it's like you need that one person to like show everyone like, oh shit, he can do it.
Sure.
That would be awesome if you were that person.
And doing that with like Rob, like obviously Rob, like everyone knows Rob is broken, right? And there is a bunch of good Robs, like Anathema, Wadi, and even Dill, you know. There's like a lot of them, but I'm like the only one like that's like getting top 8 these events.
Yeah.
Right. And Big Boss, by the way. But I'm like the only one that's getting top 8 at these events and like consistently performing. It's not that they're bad. They're obviously phenomenal players, and it's like when talking to Anathema and playing with them, it's like he's solid as shit. He like I'm honestly surprised that he lost to the people that he did. But you know, it just happens like that. And I think like with a few like tweaks to pretty much like a bunch of people, I think like in this day of age, a lot of people are so close to like getting super good to the point where it's like they have to fix like maybe like 1, 2, or 3 like really minor things that is like holding them back, and it's like you can do it, you know what I mean? But I think Link is one of those characters like with that unexplored like potential that I think like he has the tools, you know, which is kind of weird because it's like it's Link.
I mean, if Byleth is winning everything, then there's so much potential as long as somebody plays things right. And that would also be great too, because like, I mean, you know, a lot of people don't like seeing Rob or whatever, but like, I feel like people, if you started playing like Link and doing just as well, people are like, oh, yo, wait a minute, what? Like, I think it would be great for. I mean, you know, you don't need the haters to like you, but like, I think it would be great as well for that.
It'll be really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's. Do you have anything else, Eric? If you want to like add on to that.
I'm chill for now. I was gonna say, as a victim of Zomba's Link, you know, definitely do it up. I have faith in the Link.
Yeah, that Link got farmed year 1, you know.
Yeah, he definitely farmed me with Link.
PGR win on Zomba's Link. You know.
Oh, nice.
You can always go back for it. All right, yeah, no, again, this is fine that we go off on like that. I want everybody to say anything they want to when we get into this topics. But yeah, I guess throwing it again to you, Zomba, because I think you didn't actually shout your stuff out yet, right? So I don't want to miss your opportunity for that. So yeah, Matt, where can people learn from the best Rob in the world?
So you find it at metafight.gg/@Zomba, ZOMBA, and then my Twitter is just Salvatore Zomba. And actually, when I start streaming soon, that's going to be Zomba NY on Twitch.
Okay, Zomba NY on Twitch. Nice. Anything else you wanted to shout out before we get to Ddog?
No, nothing really. We can go right to.
All right, Ddog, where can people follow you?
I only have Twitter, BTDdog.
All right, sounds good. That's where you guys can follow everybody. Thank you all so much for coming on and doing this. This is the first episode, so I mean, there wasn't too much to figure out because it's a pretty straightforward process, but it was really fun talking to you guys. For those of you watching, you already are watching the channel, but I'd appreciate if you could give a sub to Game5 Smash here on YouTube. I'm going to try and do one of these every week. It might be difficult, but hopefully going to do a lot more and get some cool people to interview, talk about Smash, which we all love to do so much. And thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.